Okay, and we're live, and we're gonna play the countdown.
I live in dead, I'll die indebted to your hold. Born again, I swear I wouldn't breathe a word. If you can find me, take me back and make me whole. We're a circus, ruin my body with your corpse. So can you help me out?
Okay, needed a chair. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Crafty Mess, where we talk about viral stuff, social media stuff, gossip, tea, and catch up with each other at the end of every single week. Let's see. First disclaimer: opinions, thoughts, and what we think about. Yeah, opinions and thoughts.
Yeah,
of the stories.
and they,
I'm so brain dead today.
and they're just our opinions. We don't condone any type of harassment. So, any questions you have, just feel free to comment below, and then we'll get to it as we're chatting through this.
Yep. Okay, so I guess there's only one trigger warning. I think the first story is based on child abuse, but we're gonna keep it short because we do like the more fast type of stories just to get things moving along. And I think Mella's gonna start off with that one.
Yeah, can you remind me?
It was the 12-year-old that was.
Oh yes, the 12-year-old. So I came upon this on TikTok. I get most of my news now from TikTok. Pretty sad.
That is a problem. That is a problem, Mel.
I know, but hey, it is very informative. Okay, don't get me started. There's a lot of actually very like really good accounts on there, like even official accounts. All the news are on there. All like. So even the White House is on there. So I'm not ashamed of that. Anyway, there was a TikTok. Someone talked about this 12-year-old who came in ready to like have like she was pregnant. She was I don't remember, like 8 or 9 months pregnant, and she came in to deliver the baby. And then I forgot how old the guy was. I think he was like 15.
No, he was 24.
Shoot. Okay, never mind. 24. That's a 12-year difference. 24, who didn't do anything wrong. Like, he just took her to the hospital, waiting, and they were like waiting to deliver the baby and waiting to take the baby home. But I believe cops were called and the guy was arrested. And my God, like, how is that not how does he not think that 12 years old is probably not a consensual age to be doing any type of thing with her?
So I read some of the comments under the TikTok, and like some people were saying that like it's just culturally a thing for them and it's always been happening. And I'm like, okay, sure, maybe like there's maybe some age gaps, but like this is a child and a 24-year-old. Okay, wait, hold on. Let's backtrack this. A 24-year-old is a man who gone through college already, and most likely have had his some kind of career going on for the next 2 years, right? I mean, I doubt that that's what happened with his educational situation, but basically, like, if we put it in that kind of like perspective, it's like, what are you, a man, doing with a 12-year-old who's like in middle school? Like,
seriously, the age gap and like the lifestyle is completely different. You're not on the same page.
But see, I was thinking, like, I remember in middle school, I would see like 12 and 13-year-olds like going out with guys who are like in their, like 1920s.
No.
And like, I remember all the girls at the school going like, oh, she's so cool. She's so grown up, blah, 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 and stuff. And now that I'm an adult, I'm like, no, she's still a child. That's disgusting.
Yes. I didn't date until I was 19. Okay, I was in college. I didn't even get to date. So no, like, That is,
Well,
yeah, 12 years old. No.
no. And here's another thing though, like the guy. Okay, so even the family members, because they threw her a baby shower and everything, they're just like, oh, we're having
Oh
another
my
baby or
gosh.
something. And so, like, even the family members, and I think, like, some people were just like, yeah, this is kind of like normal in our, like, little cohort. I mean, it's just like, just seeing,
Okay.
and I think they live in that
But
bubble, and because when they got
see, that's the
caught, like,
thing. Like I get it, there might be a cultural thing, but it's not a cultural thing here in the US. And if they
no,
decide to live here in the US, you would think that they would have to abide by US laws.
I'm on and off about that kind of stuff because then it kind of comes off as like xenophobic in a way, but we're talking about children here.
There are
so
reasons. There are
yeah.
reasons why laws exist for this
Yeah.
exact thing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're 12 years old. You're not legal enough to make any type of your own decision. That's just wrong.
Yeah, and it's I don't know the whole thing. I mean, like when I guess like when they got arrested, the guy got arrested. Like like most of the people were the family members and even the girl and even the guy was just like, I don't understand why I'm getting arrested, which goes to
Right.
show that like this was not a conversation in that like
No.
that little nuclear family or community or something, which is really scary to think, right? Oh gosh,
I mean, it goes back to the same story like that we talked about last week about the father. Like it was tradition for the father to check the woman, the son's future wife's hymen. Like, no,
it's
dude, boundaries. You know what I mean? Like, no, just because it's tradition or it's like what you used to do, it doesn't mean that it's okay to do it.
You know, I think one of the best things that my dad has ever done for me when he came to America was saying that, yes, we do have our value systems, but I'm open-minded to changing them because there's always something more, right? So, I mean, that's the one thing that I think is like really awesome about my dad is that, yeah, he is Asian American. He does have some of his like quirky Vietnamese side, but he's also very like forward thinking. And I think that kind of helped me in a lot of ways. And it's scary and sad and unfortunate to think that sometimes people get stuck in their little traditions. And maybe it could be good to have traditions, but then there are obvious cases where it is not good, like this, for example. Another one where, like, you know, when your daughter's like 13 or 14 and your father gets to pick I think they're in some Muslim families where they get to choose the husband and like they just literally give the girl to the other side. And there's been stories about like these women who are growing up and saying that like I was a child bride, like at 13, 14, like I had no say. When I left, and this happens in the US, and it's like, you know, when I leave and I go back to my father and he's like, no, you have to go back to your husband. And like that still happens here. And it's things like that where it's like, you know, yeah, there are some things about cultures and traditions that's absolutely beautiful, but there are some things that are horrible and can affect you physically, mentally, and emotionally. And that stuff needs to like, you know.
Yes. I mean, there are cultures out there that like I forgot which culture it was, but wasn't it like that the woman had to like, I don't know what the word, I mean graphic, okay, but it was like they did something down there to the woman. I forgot what they do, but those things are supposed to be, wasn't it like they burned it or they sewed it or something like that?
Yeah, it's called oh gosh, what's the guy's version of it? It's female something.
Yeah, I don't know what the term is, but to me, like that's like a culture thing. Yeah, again, something that is like done
female
culturally, but it's
circumcision, right?
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
Or is it circumcision?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for a guy,
or is it a lobotomy?
Yeah.
That's a male one, but it's a female lobotomy, right? Yes. So no.
Yeah, well, there's different ways they do it. Like there's one where they cut off the. I'm just gonna say it because there's like you can't get around from it. The clitoris. Oh, actually, the
Yeah.
bean. Like, I don't know.
The
The
nubbin.
bean. Yeah, the clitoris where they remove it because women are not allowed to feel pleasure, so they remove that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Or
a lot of this stuff is just bonkers, you know? It's like crazy.
yeah, and then the
How is
other
this
one
a-
is where
yeah.
they sew it up so that it's just enough that you can just urinate through it and have your menstruation
No.
cycle, and then like it has
That's
to be ripped open by the husband. Have you heard of that?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
No. It's
so it's
already
actually
painful. It's already like painful enough to lose your hymen. Like
yeah
I have a low pain tolerance, so that's already painful to me. To even imagine being ripped open even further by oh no. Oh
yeah
no.
because like the hymen they can't insure it sometimes, and they're just like, oh well, sometimes it's broken, and so like doing this insures it even more, and I'm like that.
That's effed up.
Yeah, and the thing is like when these
That's effed up.
girls are getting sewn up, they're like what? I think it starts at like age 5 or 6, which is
That's
horrendous.
horrendous.
It's freaking it's
Horrendous.
female mutilation. That's the word. I'm
Yeah.
thinking of. Mutilation. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I'm sorry I led from one topic towards another, but it's almost like they can't all I'm saying is that you can't use that it's been culturally done. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just because it's been culturally done doesn't make it right. Like
Yep.
that's what
Exactly.
my point was, you know?
Yep. I think we
Jesus.
need to use a little bit of, rational thinking. Just because it's been always done doesn't mean
Yeah.
that's reasonable. And just because it's forward thinking doesn't always mean that it's reasonable as well. So just
Right.
take a step back and, look at the bigger picture here. But yeah,
Yeah. Oh my God.
now the girl who's the 12-year-old girl, like I hope for the best. I one day she's going to grow up and realize what's going on, and I hope that she has a secure structure in her life where she can work through that.
Yeah.
Which kind of reminds me, remember the teacher in the early 90s who was found out to be sleeping with her 13-year-old student? Well,
I think so, yes. Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, she recently passed away, and now he's like our age. Now he's our
Wow.
age, and he actually is doing interviews and stuff. And you can tell he said that he's writing a book, which I really want to read pretty soon here. But it's very interesting to see how he's thought through the process of all that, and how he knows that it's not okay, but that is his life, and it's going to be interesting. Anyways, I think we need to move on to the next story.
Okay.
Norwegian.
Yes. It was the Norwegian, was it the volleyball team, I believe?
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yes.
Was it?
yes.
Yeah, correct. And they decided as a team, a collective team, not to wear those skinny ass bikini bottoms. They wanted to wear shorts just like the guys wore, and they got fined for wearing shorts. It was against the rules. And Pink, I mean, bless her, she like those stories just went rampant, and Pink heard the story and she applauded the women for not, listening to the rules and breaking the rules, for something that's so sexist. And she volunteered to pay for the fine for the women team. Like, that's amazing,
Yes. Yes.
But it's almost the same thing too. The same thread also applies to Olympians. If you've noticed that there's also like a lot of the teams, the women always are the ones that are scantily clad versus the guys. They wear like a full figure, like a full cover gymnastic outfit, whereas the women has like, like they have to show their ass, and like I don't understand that. They said something about like ratings, but it's like, okay, well, if you have the guys scantily clad, I'm sure the ratings will go up because the women more women will be watching,
Mm-hmm. That's
Let's
also
make
true
it an
too.
even playing ground, right? Like,
That
why
is also
does it have to be
true.
one-sided?
This is a topic about feminism. That's why we still need it. But I mean,
Continuous.
Grudy is in gymnastics, and it's the same thing. Like, all of
Yes.
the outfits are, I mean, we're talking about like kids here, but like, it's like the bikini bottom versus like shorts.
Yeah.
She has both. The bikini bottom ones, we usually wear like leggings, and then her,
Yeah.
And because it's like, there are other parents there, and some of them are men, and I'm just saying that, like, I don't want, like, so
Yeah.
so the okay,
Yes.
and here's
You don't want unwanted, like stares.
yeah, and here's another thing too. Like, I sometimes, like, I don't want that to happen. I also am on this other side where it's like, well, I also don't want her to feel like her body is shameful and she has to cover up. So it's a very weird balance in parenting here. But there is,
Yeah,
but
that's
to
crazy.
me, ranking your children's safety obviously is going to be first, and then equality, right, is gonna, and so anyways, so a couple of years ago, YouTube cracked down on a bunch of PEDOs, because what they were doing is they were finding family vloggers who had children's in gymnastics, and what they do is they would zoom up close when the girls do a split or like flip around or something, and they would time it, and then they would like recruit other guys who like that kind of stuff to watch it, and it's like kids that are 5, 6, 7, 8, all up to till like 14 doing these gymnastics, and it's all family vloggers. That's the big reason why family vlogging channel no longer has comments available on them. It's to stop that from happening. So if there are PEDOs online trying to look for little girls or boys in swimwear attire, gymnastic attire, to zoom in and see that kind of stuff, how can we not think that there's some kind of sexual connotation for women in the Olympics or playing sports wearing things like that, and here's another thing is that how could anyone perform with a wedgie? Like, I'm sorry, I can't. I could barely walk in the thong, let alone like.
And let's be clear, I hate thongs with a passion. I don't like thongs at all. I wear just like, cheekies. I think they're very cute, and they don't have to I don't have to have a full on, wedgie all the time. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, if you like thongs and because of like, the panty line or whatever, okay, sure. I'm not a thong person
But first
either.
of all, who cares if there's a panty line? Like, you also have, when you wear a bra on the see-through, you can still see your bra. Like, who the F cares? Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Like, why is it so risque or so like unclassy to wear something? Like, I don't care. Like, everyone knows everyone knows I wear panties, okay? Everyone knows I wear a bra or whatnot. Like, it's it's almost like the thing about like the nips. Everybody knows that you have nipples. Why is it like unsightly if we see nipples on women? You know what I mean?
First of all,
it's all because of the guys.
You don't know if I'm wearing underwear or not right now, okay? So let's not assume
Elle.
that we're all.
You're not. Do you like going commando? Because I don't think it's sanitizing. But
I'm kidding.
To each own. To each own.
But the point is, it's like, who cares? It's undergarment, right? Like, what
where nobody gives a like.
Yeah. And if someone can see your panty line, then it's like, good for you for checking out my butt. Like, thanks.
Seriously, like, why are your eyes even on my butt to begin with?
Yeah. So thanks. Cool. Whatever. That's a compliment, regardless. But yeah, I can't walk with a thong on, so I can't imagine playing like sports at a competitive level with like tiny. And these aren't G-strings; they are still booty shorts, and that's a lot more fabric up your butt than like a G-string, by the way.
Yes. And I don't care. This whole thing is all about stupid, patriarchal like stuff, all about the ratings, all about pleasing men. F them. Like, F them so hard. Like, how about they wear those skinny ass cheeky bottoms and like tell me if they can function, you know what I mean? Like, have a forever 24-hour wedgie up their ass.
Oh God! Actually, now that I'm thinking, like I'm trying to envision Papa Bear, like in like cheeky look. No, hard pat. You know,
Thank you.
gotta see
Yeah,
less
hard
of
pass on
that.
there.
Yeah, gotta see
I don't
less
know.
of
I'm pretty okay. I'm pretty okay seeing my man friend in a cheeky thong.
that.
I think that's pretty hot.
Oh no. We
So
need to go
yeah.
through your photo album.
Well,
Oh.
yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to. And it's not a PG-13. Good morning, Ashley.
Hello, Ashley. Oh gosh, my throat just got dry there. But yeah, women in sports, and you know what? They should be allowed. Like I understand like uniforms, so that you can show team pride. But I think the team itself should be able to allow to pick how the uniform fits on their body.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Yep. I like yeah. So when I saw that and I just applaud Pink for doing the right thing and hopefully it sets precedent that, for future ones that they'll change the damn rule because I think that
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it goes to show how much power these competitions have when for decades no one has said anything about it because they're afraid that they get kicked off the team.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine being like, for example, Grudy? She's 3 right now. She's in not Olympics, in gymnastics, just for fun. But like, let's say she did start like training for real at the age of 3, all the way up until let's say 14, and she's like, look, I don't like the outfit, but I can't do anything about it because I don't want to risk getting kicked off the team. That is a horrible position to be put in.
Yep.
So
Totally.
no, I am glad. Thank you, Pink, for doing that. That's awesome. And I am glad that those girls like did it as a collaborative,
Yes.
as a team. Like that's actual like team pride and camaraderie.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Totally.
All right. Since we're talking about sports, should we move on to Simone Biles and her
Yes.
in the Olympics?
So I keep seeing her story coming around and everything. I wasn't really paying attention to the Olympics so much, but I know that she like dropped out or based on like an injury possible or a possible something that happened during her practice.
So I'm vague on the injury before the Olympics. So I don't watch it because I don't have cable and studying. But so she had an injury, but she's fine. And in some of the interviews, she has said that her body is fine, she can perform. The only issue is that mental health wise, she doesn't trust her mental health, and she doesn't want to, on certain days, certain times, she doesn't want to have that mental health affect her physical health, which I think is very true because they're all interconnected. But so that's the reason why she's
what I
pulling
don't
out.
understand. Okay, yeah. What I don't understand is why did she pull out when she's at the Olympics instead of before the Olympics? Like that doesn't, like is she? Like that's what it doesn't make sense. Yeah, like I get it that it's about your mental health and everything, but why wouldn't you make a decision prior to going to the Olympics?
I think maybe she must have spent most of her time training, and the focus is I got to get to it. I got to get to the Olympics. And then when she finally got there, I think it must have been one of those things where it's like, okay, if I push myself harder just to get through it, I can just push myself. And then by the time she's there with all like the cameras, the interviews, the performing, the the stretching, and then the practice, like, because you have to do things in all of this stuff. And especially for her, she's doing a lot of press. I can imagine like being there and feeling like, okay, this is too overwhelming. It is triggering everything I've been trying to suppress and trying to move forward, but I'm not strong enough to do it now, And
yeah, they said something about that she had experienced twisties, something like it's like a feeling of a disorientation from what I gathered. Which is why she wasn't comfortable because she didn't want to further. If she continued to experience that, it could lead to obviously like injuries because she's disoriented or something like that. So I think that's possible cause, and maybe they didn't come up until she was there.
Yeah, and here's another thing. So this other lady on Facebook posted this article that was really good. There was another girl who performed, and this was like in the 60s, I want to say, and she had an injury in her leg, and she basically asked her coach, she's like, hey, look, I want to pull out, and because I don't think my leg can handle this. And the coach was just like, no, you got to do it. So she didn't have a choice to pull out. And so when she finally did her routine, she didn't land, and instead she landed on her head and broke her neck, and so she ended up being paralyzed from the neck down. And so the article, and so the article was basically highlighting that, you know, Simone is doing what, you know, this other girl didn't have a choice to do. And we should be able to applaud her for the fact that she has a choice to be able to say, hey, look, I don't trust my body and my mind right now, and I want to make sure that I'm safe so I can compete again, you know?
Yeah.
Because the stuff that she does is like really, really dangerous, you know? And if she doesn't land at like a quarter of a second, like she can really injure herself.
I mean,
you know?
wasn't there like a move of a gymnastic move that was named after her based on her tremendous, like, I forgot what it was, but I thought it was a move of hers, a signature move that like is now, you know, in her name.
I mean, now that like the Olympics is going on and I'm taking anatomy, like that's the conversation that's like kind of like going on often, but it's we are not built to take on that much impact. At the end of the day, the body can do a lot of great and wonderful things, but it can only take so much before it starts breaking down. Like football players, you know, they on average, 70% of football players end up with concussions that really severely affect them after the age of 40 and 50. Like, our bodies can only take on so much, and that's the same with Olympians. You know, you can push to a certain limit, and good for her. She's highlighting a couple of things, that women have power to say no. You can't force me to do something that I don't think I am capable or want to do. And two, highlighting that mental health is also very important, that if my brain and my heart is not in it, I am not going to give my body the physical power to do what it needs to do. And, you know, I know a lot of like people in the US are crapping on her and saying that like, this is un-American, you're not representing us, why would you do this, la la da da. Who cares? Like, these people are not her parents, are not, you know, the people that are close to her, not her.
She doesn't owe them anything. She doesn't owe them anything. So, you know, to all those people, like, you know, I give them a middle finger. So it's like, F off.
And you know what? She's
like
she'll take a couple of years break and then she'll compete again. It's not like she's not going to compete. She's still very young, you know, so. But yeah, that's, man, I think our last story is Scarlett Johansson. We're talking about a lot of female powers today, huh?
Well, and it all really broke within like a week, which is crazy. But yeah, Scarlett Johansson, I just heard of that yesterday. So that just, you know, that broke. But yeah, she's suing Disney for a breach of contract. The movie Black Widow was supposed to go out on the day of opening in theaters only, but I believe that Disney had it on demand for Disney on Disney streaming, and then later on decided to pull it out of theaters or just like not have it in theaters anymore, and then go straight to into streaming, which, you know, when box office, like Scarlett Johansson gets her money through box office sales and tickets and whatnot. So for Disney to move it directly to streaming, she gets nothing, which I think that's unfair, because if that was
how much is it that she's not getting? Like 50 million?
She's gonna lose 50 million. 50 million. And I think that's, I mean, I get it. Like, if that was the case and that was their plan all along, then I would say, like, you know, have Scarlett Johansson at least have some of that cut. Why would you not give, you know, like, she is the star of the movie. Why would you not give that money to her? You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. And if that was the plan, they should have been transparent about it, right?
They should have been transparent. And people were saying like, oh my gosh, you know, 50 million. And she already got 20 million from it, but it's like, you know, what is she gonna do with 50 million? I don't think that was the I don't think that was like what she like, it's not about the money. You know what I mean? It's about the principle, the integrity of it all. And if she doesn't fight it, you know, big companies like Disney and other people would take advantage of the situation.
Yeah, if she doesn't do that, it allows Disney to pull. I mean, because at the end of the day, Disney is a big corp, and you know they
Yep.
are kind of jerks. They're, oh my gosh, on Etsy they are the biggest DICKs
Yeah.
ever. They are jerks, Disney. Okay, as a corporation.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're terrible. And so good for Scarlett for doing this, because you know Disney is like it's a scary beast to like mess with. But they should have been transparent about it. I did see Black Widow. I did see it in theaters though. It was very good.
I did, yeah. I saw it in theaters the day that it came out.
Yeah.
Actually, they're still paying for the movie for streaming, but that money doesn't go to her. It was just in
No,
the
it
contract
doesn't.
that if it's in streaming, she doesn't get that money. But honestly, you know, now I would say that people from here on out, like actors from here on out, should probably negotiate that into their contract. Be like, hey, if it goes into streaming, they get a cut of that too.
Well, that's what happened with David Chappelle. Like when they start streaming it on Netflix, after like I think he left Comedy Central, like they didn't, you know, Comedy Central was just like, well, guess what? We own the David Chappelle show, so we can sell it to whoever. And so they like, you know, were able to stream it wherever they wanted, and it was just like the conversation.
That's not cool.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I don't think a lot of people think about where their platform is going to land. Like, is it going to be on YouTube, or is it going to be on Facebook? Like, you know, even with smaller influencers too, I think that is something that you need to flush out before you work with sponsorships and stuff, you know.
Oh yeah, but it's almost like if they're not their likeness, but whatever that they've worked on and their project, and they're a part of, and their name is attached to it, and it's also making money for the company, for sure they should be compensated. It's just like, it just makes common sense, right? Like, why on earth would you not compensate? It's the same thing like if we were to play music on here, we have to pay royalties to, like, you know, just to use their music. I would say that the same thing should apply to actors too.
Yeah. Yes and no. Only because you can trademark or copyright names. So like, let's say I open up a dress line and it's called KL dress line, right? And let's say a bigger company decides to buy it. Well, from then on, I can't open another company called KL dresses. They own that right. So if I do open another company that says that, well, they own it now. So it's technically like a brand or like a trademark or whatever. So it's the same with like the Chappelle show. Yes, he might be in it, but the loophole that they're going through is the fact that, oh, we own the name now, you know? I was, so let's see. Ashley says, we watched it on streaming because the kids weren't vaxxed yet. My older just got it first, so we chose to watch at home. I was shocked when it came to streaming. Should have gotten paid. Taking it is bull. I completely agree, Ashley. It's vaxxed, not vaxxed. That's funny. Yeah, I completely agree. And I was really surprised too. Like, I don't understand why it moved so fast. Like, usually it would take them a couple of months before it would hit streaming. And it's Black Widow. Like, she died in the last one. You would think that they would want her to get as much money at the box office as possible with her, like, you know, quote unquote comeback, even though this is not technically a comeback. So yeah, I was really, really, man, dude, Disney is no joke. I think that's the last. Actually, you know what though? I remember something. So a couple of years back, Disney, the YouTube channel, did reach out to me, and they were just like, "Hey, would you like to be a crafter on our YouTube channel?" And I was just like, "Oh, dude, this is awesome! I get to work with Disney." And I actually didn't sign because a lot of they asked for a lot. Like, they asked for a lot of videos in the span of a month, and their pay was legitimately so garbage. So and they also wanted to be able to own the rights to that video. So if I were to do a craft of something, they own the rights to that. But they also like wanted to, like, there's a little addendum that said that they kind of wanted to own the rights to like the idea of the craft, which I was just like, no, we're not doing that either. But it wasn't like all of that was like, I have morals, but like if you're willing to pay a certain amount to take an idea from me, then sure, that's fine. But they weren't willing to pay that amount, which was like, I don't know. It was just kind of it was just interesting because it was very, very low. It was like, I'm trying to recall, it was $300 for like 10 or 12 videos or something, which is really nothing. And Mel is gone here, so I'm trying to see what happened to her here. Okay, there we go. So yeah, so but I didn't sign the contract with Disney. I was just like, you know what, I'm just not interested in this right now. It's just not for me. But I do know other YouTubers and crafters who did sign with them, and I remember them saying how much work it was, and like they were just like, oh, but at the end of the day, they signed because it was Disney, and they were hoping that was going to give them exposure and that attachment to Disney. It didn't. Like other brands were so much more kind to them than Disney was. So just because you're a big corporation doesn't mean they will treat you well.
Wow, I'm surprised with that.
Yeah. So yep, those are our 4 stories. We really
Can I tell you what happened like a few days?
What happened
this past few days? So it was like a Tuesday. I went to go to Starbucks. I had a couple of like dollars left on my Starbucks card, and so I replenished it. I usually just replenish every like $10 each time, and I bought a drink. So that should leave me with like maybe around $4 or something. The next day, I went in thinking about like maybe possibly getting a drink and something else, and I looked on my card, and it was $0. There was $0 on there, so I thought that was kind of strange. So then I was like, and then I got no, it wasn't $0. It was like maybe $1. It went down to like $1 something. So then I was like, okay, that's weird. So I got a Verizon up rewards. So I had a Starbucks $5, which I added onto the card, which should be like around $6 something, right? Then yesterday I went in to get Starbucks, and then immediately I saw my balance went from like 6 something down to 0. And I was just like, what the hell just happened? Like, I didn't buy anything, and I'm pretty sure I just put in, like, I just replenished $5 on here. Like, where did the money go? Anyways, I added more money onto it to purchase my stuff. Then they told me to contact the Starbucks rewards thing, so I contacted them, and I talked to them this morning, and it turns out when I went back to my card again, it like there should have been money on there, but it went down to 0. And then the representative said that, oh, somebody's been using it in Mexico. I was just like, wait, what?
So
they've been using my Starbucks card. I don't know. Somehow they hacked into my account, whatever. They've been using my Starbucks card, and it was in Mexico. And she was, and the guy was like, yeah, we're gonna close this card out, and then we'll get you another one, and this and that. And they replenished, what the person was using. But I was shocked. And then I was looking online to see if this is happening to anyone else. And apparently this situation has been going on since like 2015. Starbucks apparently does not have a very good secure system for their app, and people like can hack into it and get passwords and things like that. They'll add their Starbucks card on it, and then they siphon all the money over. So I took off my PayPal account. I took off like my other card that I had on there. Like, I'm surprised that wasn't taken, but it was just my main card. So yes.
Oh my gosh.
I was surprised that was happening.
I'm
like,
surprised
that
too.
Yeah. So they gave me a new card, and then I had to change my password and all that stuff. But it was just crazy. It was like, where did they get my information, and then come to find out that Starbucks probably doesn't have like the best of security things. So now I have like a two-factor authentication on there, and then I'm
Good.
doing that for all the other stuff too. But it's just like crazy. I thought I was like going crazy. I was like, where did the money go? Like, did I order Starbucks in my sleep and I didn't know? Like, what's going on? So yeah, be careful. Don't
I should
put
check mine.
check yours. Don't put don't attach your PayPal account to it. Don't attach any other cards to it. I do Apple Pay through whenever I replenish, so I doubt that they could have access to that. But anyways, yeah, that was crazy.
Well, I mean, I do remember last year they Starbucks did send out a security breach last year. But that was like, and I only remember this. No, it wasn't last year. It was like March.
Yes.
And I only remember this because I was just like, I gotta change my password, and I was so annoyed.
Yeah.
when you have to do that.
I'm pretty sure I changed it too. It like obviously this just happened like this week. You know what I mean? Like I've had money on there from previous ones, and those were fine. Like it just happened this week. I thought that was crazy.
I'm glad I'm not addicted to Starbucks. Need to tell my friend this. She goes all the time.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I'm not addicted to it all the time too, but I rarely put more than like $10 on there. Only because like, like I don't want to have money in there that much. So anytime that they do siphon out whatever, it was like very low. It was like either $1, $4, or whatever. But
yeah, now I'm gonna check mine because I'm like, your girl has like $50-something in here because
no, take it out. But or like start using it really quick. But or change your password. There's an authentication now where like you could have a security code to it and things like that. But I thought that was crazy. So that just happened. I got my money back, so now I have $10 that I can use use on there.
I have $11 though. I'm probably gonna like look at all my past purchases and stuff just to
double check,
just to be sure. Yeah.
But
it's like, oof! I can't believe. Wow, that's the stuff that they do now.
Like crazy. So someone in New Jersey stole my husband's credit card, and he got a notification that was an unusual purchase. Thank God, because he was able to stop it. If not, I did not get charged. Yes, oh God, these people, like, I just don't know. Like, it's crazy. Well, but I'm glad that we have these fraud alerts, like to stop ahead of time. But I'm always usually very wary about using my bank cards too, just for this reason. That's why I like to use my credit cards, just so if something happens and whatnot, then they can stop that.
Yeah, and another thing is that like last year someone like stole my credit card information, and they went to McDonald's and bought $186 worth of stuff at McDonald's.
McDonald's? That's artery clogging food. $186 of artery clogging food.
Yeah, and I'm wondering maybe if the person is like an employee of McDonald's and they just charge it and then took out $186 in cash.
You think?
Yeah, maybe they could have done that because like that is a lot of food.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, I'm surprised because my money was taken out of the account, but they didn't if they were hungry or whatever, they didn't use any of my points. Like, I had points on there, they could have used it, but they didn't use any of the points. So it was obviously for the cash. But then I'm like thinking like, well, how are they moving it? To another card, but how are they using, like, you can't take money out and transfer it back, right? From your card back to your bank, right?
Well, they could
probably use what's on.
You know what they probably did? They used that amount, bought it a gift card, took the gift card, and sold the gift card for a cheaper price for cash. Does that make sense?
But you can't, I don't think you can't buy a gift card from your Starbucks card. You can't do that.
Oh, you can't? No, are you sure?
Yeah, I do that. Like, okay. I have to do it for my work. Like, we buy Starbucks gift cards for a contest, whatever. I can't use my balance to do that.
Really? Huh?
Yeah. So it's from I think it's weird too. I don't think it's right. I think I should be able to use that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
So no,
Oh, then
you
maybe
can't.
that's not the case. Okay. Huh.
Which is why I don't understand why are you, you know, like I don't, yeah, it just boggles me. Because if you really wanted to get, you know, if you really wanted to get Starbucks, they could have taken my points.
That is such a weird way to steal. Like, I don't understand.
I don't know.
And
People
maybe,
just like to be
you
so
know,
creative and, you know, not try to earn their own money.
well, maybe it's just some teenager who really wants Starbucks, but they use a VPN and it showed that they're in Mexico, but they're not. Oh no, they can't use a VPN. They have to go to the location to pick it up. So,
Yeah.
oh,
I
okay.
don't know.
It's you know what us millennials don't get don't get it, but okay. If you okay, cool. I mean, but it's not like it's like $5 here and $5 there. It's a lot of effort, but I'm pretty sure they're doing it on like a massive scale. So
Right. They just didn't think that I'm a cheaper Asian who don't put that much money on there. You know, like, yeah, I'm not about to like leave a bunch of money in there for Starbucks. I only
I mean,
put it in just to like get points. That's all.
oh, oh man, that's wild. That's well, I'm glad you got all that figured out.
Yeah, thank God too, because I was going crazy there. I'm like, what the heck is happening to my balance? You know, like I know I
Uh,
didn't order anything.
she's saying maybe they are buying someone's drinks and it. Oh, yeah, that could be it.
Oh
Ah.
my gosh, that's also yeah, that could be a way. Man, what
Huh.
a bad friend.
Yeah, but then I don't know. Like usually when I grab something from my friend, I'm just like, "Hey, you want me to grab you something?" And then like I go grab it, and then they're just like, "Oh, here's cash." I'm like, "Nah, that's fine." You know, like I
Right.
don't think about like getting the cash from them, but at the same time, I don't know. Like, can you imagine me going up?
That
Hey, Mel, you want
person,
me to go? Like, can you imagine? I'm going. Hey, Mel, I'm gonna go. Do you want me to go get you a Starbucks right now? I'll get you a Starbucks right now, right now, right now. Give me $5. I'll go get it for you right
right
now, right,
now,
right now, right now.
right now.
Yeah, yeah, right now. Like, can you imagine? Like,
I was like, no, dude, I already have my coffee.
yeah, exactly. It's like I have two of them right here. Like, you just got me to one.
I mean,
I mean,
honestly, like I'm not addicted to Starbucks. I go, you know, because I like to go get the sandwiches,
yeah.
even though like I think that they're kind of weaning that off, anyways. But anytime I get coffee, I just get decaf because if I get any type of like caffeine, I'm just bouncing off the wall a little bit. Like my heart beats too fast, and you know, like I don't sleep as much. So yeah, I do decaf, but thank God that I'm not addicted to it. That I need it every single day.
Uh,
Unlike someone I know.
I am not a subscriber of that club.
No, like Tony needs it every day. He drinks it
Oh, really?
black, which
Yeah.
he's crazy, but yeah, he drinks it black, and he needs it every day. And for me, it's like I can wake up, I can go to the gym, I can do a lot of stuff without it, you know. So it's like I have my energy from within.
Can't relate. Okay. But
What?
and other I
Can't relate.
In other news, here's something really, really really great. Mel
Yeah.
found her way through corn talk,
Oh, that's right.
which is amazing.
Unbeknownst to me, I didn't search for, you know, any type of corn or whatnot. Like it just popped up on my For You page, and it was it was such a silly, like, how did they say it? It was something about like I
Corn
forgot the video.
stripper.
Corn stripper. Oh, because of the corn stripper, like you get the kernels off, right? And they're like corn
Yeah.
stripper, eh? So then like had they like had corn, you know, very seductively peeling off its like layers and things like its husk, and it was just like, and they had on like a two-piece bikini. It was pretty funny. So immediately, I obviously thought of KL, so I sent it to her because I was like, "This is what you're talking about, right? Corn talk. This is what you're talking about."
I was like, oh, finally! It took you a
It was
while to get there.
It was so funny. It was hilarious.
Uh,
They must have heard. They must have heard through the grapevine.
yeah, yeah. All right. So those are our four stories. I think
Yep.
Mel is still working on her top. I'm making fake clay band-aids for Grudy's veterinary shop.
Oh my
And
goodness.
speaking of which, I'm using Minnie Mouse fabric because the big corporate Disney has gotten to my daughter.
Oh
Um,
no.
yeah. So as much as I talk about them in a not so nice light, I guess.
Yeah.
Here, my daughter is everything Disney. So, so we will keep that dream alive going for a little bit. But
For a little bit until you have to burst her bubbles.
yeah, yeah. Well, she has to wear uniforms this coming fall, so that's going to be a big
Oh.
yeah. Because I mean, even her gymnastics gear, like it was psychedelic cat. So
Oh
and
yeah, I know.
and
It's so
so
cute.
yeah, and so now can you imagine her having to wear like navy and whatever? But it'll be. I think she'll be okay because then she'll be like, oh, I'm part of a team with my friends and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, my husband bought a 50-pound bacon on
Holy
accident, and now
crap.
he can make his own. Oh my gosh.
Jeez Louise, who needs 50 pounds of
Oh,
bacon?
oh no, 50 bag of corn.
Oh. 50 bags of corn? What do you need?
50-pound bag of
Oh.
corn. I was like, even
50?
still, that's still a lot.
That's
still
a lot of corn. I can't. And the human body cannot digest the corn. It just comes straight out of you. Okay, so it's like, why do you need all that like fibrous?
You
So
should tell him to go back to the store and also buy like 50 rolls of toilet paper. just
seriously, because the body does not digest that.
Oh my gosh. I read
That's
because it said
hilarious.
50 pounds of bacon.
Oh my gosh.
Either way, it's a lot of both. And
It's
I
a lot
wish
of
you
it's a lot of too much. In moderation. Everything in moderation.
yeah, I guess you guys can always dehydrate them and use them as popcorn, right? Can you do that or no?
Yeah, no, you could totally turn them into popcorn. But no, I don't need corn. I need the other corn. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh goodness. That is so funny. 50 pounds of bacon, like where would one get that?
The poor piggies. Oh,
I know. I bought
poor
it through my kid's
piggies.
school and thought no, he bought it through my kid's school and thought it said 15. Wait, what kind of school is selling wait, okay, Ashley, you gotta what kind of school is
What?
selling corn? 15, yeah, okay. Yeah, because corn is kind of heavy. Um that
It has to be
that's
like a
interesting.
rural area, right? Because that doesn't happen
Yeah.
around here.
Yeah, we have bake sales,
Yeah.
right? Um that's interesting. Oh, in the country. So funny. All righty.
All right. This was fun.
It was fun. That is it for this episode. Mel has a hard stop, and I have a hard
Yes.
stop too because I have to go back to write a paper.
I know. Ew.
I'm actually having so much fun with this paper writing, to be honest. Like,
Wow.
I am because like everyone else is taking it really seriously with
Yeah.
like all the molecular stuff, but I'm like writing little like stories about a princess, and it's actually
Oh my
really fun.
goodness.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and yeah. So hopefully I don't get like. I mean, I might get an F for the fact of being too creative, but at least I'm learning the stuff, so who cares?
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everybody, and Ashley.
Alrighty.
Thank you for joining us today. We send you out with a good vibes, lots of grilled corn, and have a happy weekend.
Yes, guys. Bye.
Bye.